bad witch. I'ma be rich. I'll make you be a switch. I'ma be bitch. I'm the bad witch.
Happy day, guys, That's my favorite from the entertainer. Stickity motivated with the bad data. This is your ennyarodasi, also known as Jenny B. Happy day. So, let us do songwriting as we do in every episode. We kind of realize that this top lighting up here, I need to turn it off. And then have some dim lighting, It works out because you have the color, spiral.
I'ma be a bitch. I'm the bad witch. I'ma be rich. I'ma be a bitch. I'm the bad witch. I'ma be rich. I'ma be a bitch. I'm the bad witch. I'ma be rich. I'ma be a bitch. I'm the bad witch. I'ma be rich.
So I've been reviewing the content, and I believe that we should genre the stream track. Every stream has a chat. It's not quite like our chat. And today, I got a new lipstick I want to try. So, what color is it? It is nude. His little heart. It is very nude. You can't even tell that I have lipstick on. This is the color of my natural lips. So maybe where's this one? This one is a little reddish tint to it. So, our content is sticky. I'm not gonna have much, I'm not gonna spend much time talking about our content because, you just must watch and enjoy to enjoy. So, of course, we're multi-genre, just, the same as my DJ sets. My DJ gigs. Good mascara. Lovely. Lovely. Shout out to Bill Withers. Bill Withers gives me inspiration, because he made it big whenever he was, I can't even remember how. Oh, and we're gonna repaint our nails today. So, that's cool. Eye drops. Allergies. See, if you place eye drops in right, you know, it doesn't leak on your face. It's like in your nose. Alright. And my meds. So I have not witnessed any other stream that is this involved with your chat. Monetarily. Look at the definition of monetarily. Monetarily. Search. I just have a blank page I can search. Monetarily. Mono. Might have spelled it wrong. Momentarily, Merriam-Webster, monetary definition. It is an adjective or relating to money or the mechanisms by which it is supplied to and circulates in the economy. A crime committed for monetary gain. Gold was once the basis of U.S. monetary system. Ooh. You know, that makes sense. That, you know, that fortunately makes sense. Alright. Amazing. Marrow, yeah, monetarily. Marrow-tarily. Monetarily, not marrow-tarily, because that would have to be, you know, that would have to do with bone. You know, there's bone marrow. And, yeah, that is, that's a thing, you know, definitely not this way. We have strong bones. Alright, so normally my afternoon medicine is under the tongue because, like, you know, they say, my friend says it makes the medicine work better. So I was realizing that the mic sound So I was mentioning the echo, and I don't know, the echo kind of has a ring to it, because it sounds like I'm screaming into the void. And do you understand baboon? I know that what is it? Baboons? But you know, that's a good one. It's a good one. As if we evolved from monkeys. That's not the kind of evolution I believe in. The kind of evolution that I believe in is monetary evolution. That's kind of why I had to look up the definition, because not momentarily, and you know, they call mono the kissing. Yeah. You get mono from kissing. You know, that's why they call it the kissing, the kissing disease, because kids get mono in school. So monetarily is in a way that relates to money. They could be compensated monetarily. I have used help monetarily when our family was young. Alright. So this is Cambridge Dictionary. Their support, both monetarily and involuntary support, has been crucial. Stiggity. Yes, we are good, thank you. So we have some tamales today. Tamale. I can't set the coffee right there because it'll be blocking my view of the chat. Am I a battle axe? I wouldn't necessarily call me a battle axe, because that would, mean that I like to be thrown around, and I'd rather throw, objects around than be thrown around. In jiu-jitsu, whenever you're a brown belt, you have to be thrown around for your test. They test how you can, catch yourself. You have to, catch yourself and flip, It took how long to realize that jujitsu people in brown belt, they're thrown around for, training exercise to see if they can, have the, to see if they can have the belt, because after brown belt is black belt. In the belt system. So we're talking about monetarily, and we're very conservative in this chat, M7MD is watching with her 5 younger sisters. Negalis is spamming, one vowel words. Oh, look, 2 vowels. Coin toss. Clap the coin toss. Does it land on heads or does it land on tails? Anyway, we have many tall tales to tell in this stream, this part of the internet. You have found the portal. It's not a mirage, all right? It's definitely a portal. A portal. A turtle. Yeah, the tortoise wins the race. I must, yeah, reply thank you to everyone. You know? Because I was starting to search online where we have similar, content. Couldn't find a channel with serious with serious content with with similar content. That means we're a rarity. We're in demand. People are demanding to watch streams that actually interact with their chat. Because most streamers are actually really shy. The chat will flirt with them. And they'll read a chat and then their ego's all, ego. I'm kidding. Though actually I'm not. I'm a very good observer. And this is observatory. You'll start crying. You better not. You better not cry. Don't cry. How's the sound today? How's the sound? Hopefully amazing. So, in Puerto Rico, we make something similar to a tamale, except it's with banana leaf. And they use corn husk for tamale. Green banana. Right. So, and then there's arroz con gandule, which is a rice, like 13 hours to cook because it has pork shoulder. No, I'm not calling myself a worker. It's kind of a finger food. Is it a finger food? That's what you meant. How can you say I lied whenever I was actually being honest? I was like, is now our time to be honest? And I was like, alright. So you guys want to hear some tall tales? Well, they're not exactly tall tales. From the head, we flipped it, it's on heads. Look at that head. Didn't vote. It's like a compliment, It is kind of like a compliment. To the internet, In the world of question marks. How? So, what they say? You externalize. So if you're lying, then maybe you would say that I was lying. about what? Is it coffee time? Never such a subtle review of my song. Yeah, you guys saw that, huh? So whenever I started the stream, I had played one of my mixes, and all of a sudden the computer went haywire. It was like, I'm like, oh no. I had to restart the computer. Well, really, I didn't restart it. I shut the computer down. Rebooted it. Not even, thank you for catching that one, because in the South, that was something that I had to overcome, was people and their views on me. They're like, oh, you're not white, and you're not born in the South. Just because, so I was raised in the South, so that should that should definitely count for something. I love the South. The South it's my stomping grounds. Whenever I was younger, people used to call me a Yankee. And I thought it was a compliment. I was like, thank you. And then one day, someone was like, no, that's not a compliment. I was like, how is it not a compliment? They're like, because, the Civil War, there was the Confederates and the Yankees. I was like, oh, so they're calling me something referencing back to 100 years ago? It's like, all right, that's kind of cool. Evolution, You'd think that maybe from 100 years ago, there's a plateau, Let me give you a little background history. Have you ever created an account? Have you ever created a channel that you could allow people to be themselves? Think of it as a festival, right? Question mark. Right? And so you open this channel so people can express themselves, and then somehow, it's like if you throw a festival and somebody's like, get out of here, get the fuck out of here. It's like, hold on, this is my festival, I should be telling you to come up with some better, comments. I'm going to say no to drung. What is that? Is it drone? Drung? Or was that comment dung? You're like, oh, they're trying to see if they can get a kick out of commenting some dumb stuff in the chat. No. My reaction and my response is really the important part. It's not necessarily what you're saying, it's how I'm interpreting it. I think, if you are definitely subscribed to someone who's not me, well, you're subscribed to Lo-Fi Girl, so you're subscribed to me. If you're subscribed to, other non-monetary chats, maybe you're a little, not quite with it. Sometimes I'm very passive, with how I express myself. Sometimes I'm quite aggressive with how I express myself. Nonetheless, lo-fi is a genre of music that somewhat inhabits all genres of music. You know, there's, you have the 128 BPMs, you have the, you have the, what is that? Binaural beats, you have the frequencies that are kind of playing in the background, and then you have a chat that's 24/7. And, whomever, normally whenever you make a festival, you don't have your name behind it. Sometimes you do, And so we have the red and green, color therapy, and it's called chromotherapy, as a matter of fact. It is the study and holistic practice of how colors have effect on your mood. Kind of mentioned it before in other streams. And now we can depict, on our pie chart, if you are a regular of this stream, or if you are just, a butcher of comments. Can you read comments? Can you win a family feud? Family feud is kind of like Mad Lib. So I would say, my day would be better if blank, and then you guys have to fill in the blank. And if you can't fill in the blank and make me laugh, or if you can't fill in the blank in a way that's, valid for, everyone, then you kind of suck at the game. It is a game, it is, a lifestyle, Don't know why they couldn't, they let you buy the house of fun. Long live my name, right? Long live my name. Ennyarodasi, stiggity. Often I enjoy to chat. I really do. I enjoy to chat. Sometimes, yeah. All right. On this account, I'll chat as a subscriber. How about that? How about them apples? Just a little bit. Just have a little bit of fun today. For those that are not bored and those that know how to chat. Hello. Gather. Hello? Yeah, you're speaking to Jenny. Yes. Alrighty. Alright, because on one of the medications didn't come in. Alright. Alright. Sounds good. Is that gonna be today? Because it's... Oh, alright. Thank you so much. Alright, is there any way for the one that I only have a few days that she can also send it to... Can she also send it to the pharmacy? Because the pharmacy will contact them if I fill my medication. I do believe. The carbamazine, the 200 milligram carbamazine. All right, and is the Stratera also? All right, so it'll be probably about half a month. No, thank you. All right, bye-bye.
All right. Oh, we'll read the chat. You know, let's give the what's that? We'll. It's the moment you've been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Ennyarodasi in the flesh. Chatting with Chat. It is time to celebrate life, love, liberty in the drama online, honey child. Woo-wee! Just stories and when we, you know, if you sit in front of the computer every day, or if you're streaming IRL every day, what stories do you have to tell? You know, how long, you know, before you became a social person, technically, you know, was your life very social? You know, most people that stream, most people that create videos, you know, they're kind of introverts. They found that you know, they can use, you know, if you've ever been friends with a photographer, and, you know, gotcha, you know, things and stuff and such. I'm not sure if you remember the hello day. You know, you're going to have a hello day and you're going to fucking wish you didn't say goodbye on a hello chat. Anyway, it's alright. We're not being mean today. You know, it's definitely not drama. You know, and to recognize, damn. Things and stuff and such. You know, you know, are you going to the gym every day? How is that working out for you? Things and stuff and such. True and necessary, because, you know, attitude has to be regulated through someone who is a regulated attitude. You know, things and stuff and such. You know, one day, have you ever had a day where you thought, like, oh my god, today's the day, freaking, you know, of unstiggity. And you run to your neighbor's house, they're like, do you have some freaking, do you have a, you know, a cup of sugar? Do you have some milk? You know, do you have a bottle of water? Because all of my bottle of waters have been destroyed with, you know, oh, it tastes like water, you know. Is it water? I don't know. It's making you hallucinate and stuff. Your body is all, like, deregulated. Somebody said goodbye in the chat. They wanted me to, you know, say goodbye to them. That's just how I read it. You know, I'm pretty sure, you know, if you were paying attention to the chat, you know, it's the moment you've been waiting for. You know, things and stuff and such. You know, I know you have your tabs open and whatnot. Your tabs don't do
they're not in the same bracket of, personality and skill. Though, if you want to talk about monetary value, we can talk about that. So so we were talking about rating things. I was going to rate some hot sauce today, and I have a whole thing, and the state wants me to rate the hot sauce so we can regulate how we utilize the hot sauce, because what is, intellectual property without any intellect? It's just, it's pure entertainment at that point. What is entertainment value gonna, cost you in the long run whenever you're monetizing on entertainment and not intellectual value? You start beginning to process and realize that intellectual value actually holds more of not a luxury, it holds more sustenance, and we need sustenance, we need things to be dramatic about sometimes, and, we're not going to necessarily be dramatic if, you don't know how to interact, and that's quite alright, that's why you pay $5 for the person that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired of, typing in the chat because nobody's reading the chat. The reason I call it podcast is because you can literally listen to this stream and, it's more of a podcast than, reading the chat. I can hide the screen, I can hide the chat, and it would still be the same. If not, actually, I take that back. It would be better. Whether or not I display the screen, that was a whole ordeal whenever I was talking about, some certain things and stuff and such that I've incepted into your minds, because if you know the truth, and you know how to route things to look, masky, a mask would be, I'm going to route this, chat history to someone that is actually working. It's someone that doesn't even, really check the online world other than Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to reroute your understanding of who you're talking to or who you think is talking, and I'm going to laugh at you because, you place, to rate how much you place importance on somebody's chat, I had to, realize myself, that I thought whenever you think you're talking to someone and then, you realize you're not, it's being rerouted, it's being pinged to different, stances, maybe one stance is for me for certain because, that person doesn't actually type in the chat. They may watch live streams. People are thinking that they're talking to the person that I'm, either mentioning or not mentioning. And that's hilarious because, it would be, somebody sitting at a call center pinging it to somebody on my Facebook, and you're thinking like, oh yeah, we're freaking, that was an amazing episode. By the way, that was an amazing episode. And to know how to read, you would know how to deceive, because words are words, actions are actions. Which one speaks louder, And even if you were viewing from a satellite perspective, you would have to reroute the understanding, because